Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation for the day, Gaudi Purbi, composition of Bhagat Kabir Ji. And the recitation. Surag Bas na Bashia, dariye na nark nivas, hona hai so hui hai, मन है न कीजय आस रमैया गुण गाइए जाते पाइए परम निधान रहाओ क्या जप क्या तप संजमो क्या व्रत क्या स्नान जब लग जुगत न जानिए पाओ भगत भगवान संपै देख न हरखिया विपत देख न रोए जो संपै त्यो विपत है बिद न रचया सो होए कह कबीर अब जानिया संतन हृदय मझार सेवक सो सेवा भले जय घट बसै मुरार Kabir Ji addresses us to incorporate the quality of acceptance in our lives. Acceptance, as you know, is foundational to Sikh teachings. Hukam arajai chalana, to walk with or to abide by hukam is the basis of Gurmat living. Hukam is simply too large, too complex a pattern for any individual mind to grasp, because hukam then takes its own course, no matter what we think about it. So going with the flow then becomes the gateway to wisdom. And this is what Kabir is trying to educate us about. He begins by saying, Surag Bas na Bashia, Surag Bas na Bashia. Dariye na narg nivas, be not afraid of hell, nor seek heaven. Hona hai so hoye hai, mane na ki jai aas. So he's essentially saying what Doris Day said, Ke sara sara, whatever will be, will be. Hona hai so hoye hai. So set no expectations. Mane na kije aas. So the mind, you see, desires heaven. It is averse to hell. When we say heaven and hell, we are not talking about physical states or a physical station, but we are talking about mental states. We could even call them illusions of the mind that cause the mind to experience either pleasure or pain, heaven or hell, depending on how the mind perceives and interprets the unfolding of events around it. Which is why the Guru emphasizes acceptance, contentment, because hukam is way too large for us to understand. The best we can do is go with the flow. In the Rahau, Ramaiya gun gaiya jate paiye param nidhan. Meditate, contemplate, and realize Ramaiya. Ramaiya is the all-pervading principle of interconnectedness and mutual interdependence. We need to realize this not simply intellectually, but also intuitively. And this realization, intuitive awareness of Ramaiya as the supreme treasure, that is the highest realization. In fact, that is what would cause us to accept things the way they are. Because you realize that there's only one actor playing through these different, infinite diversity of roles. Kya jap, kya tap, sanjamo, kya birth, kya name. To what avail is the uttering of mantras? To what end are austerities and self-control? What is the benefit of fasting or bathing at pilgrimages? Kabir asks. What good are these practices if you do not know the right method? Jab lag jugt na janinge. Paho Bhagat Bhagwan. And the jukti is Paho Bhagat Bhagwan. Devotion to the self. Remember, Ramaya is the all-pervading self. So you have to find union with that principle. And bhakti, which is the way of Gurmat, is the way of submission. So how should you go about in your life? Sampad dekhna har kiya, bipat dekhna rog roye. Jo sampad tyo bipat hai, bidna rachya so hoye. Sampe, being equipped, endowed with. Seeing your possessions and endowments, do not feel elated. Don't get carried away. And in adversity, don't complain. Equanimity in the face of changing circumstances. Kahe Kabir, ab jaanya santan hriday majhar. Kabir says, I've discovered the principle that guides the wise ones. Majhar. They are true and the principle is, you're a true servant. They become virtuous by devotion to the self within. In other words, they acquire the qualities of the self. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.